Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of AI driven software development, a showcase of what we have been able to achieve at Devon. If you've been following along, you know where we are exploring AI's role in software development. We're also showcasing what we have been able to achieve at Devon with AI. Today, we shift our focus to quality assurance, an area that has seen massive transformation with AI-powered tools in the last couple of years. Joining me today, we have Saurabh, a seasoned QA expert, in-house QA expert. And Saurabh, let's start with you. Why this episode? Why AI in QA in the first place?
Hello again, everyone. So Saurabh here, and everything about me remains same as last time we met. Still 13 years of experience in QA, all of it spent in automation on various tools. Last couple of years have been exploring newer automation tools. Along with that, we have added the AI flavor, which we'll be exploring today as well. So as my asked, why QA? Why QA? Because QA has come a long way. You remember those days when we used to
Right.
do multiple clicks while verifying everything, and our wrists used to hurt. From there, we have come to automation scripts where only our brains hurt. So now, thanks to AI, we can just sit back and let it do our job. Almost let it do our job.
Right.
So yeah, on a serious note, QA has been evolving. We are not just automating tests anymore. We are automating how we write tests. So we are analyzing failures and how
Mhm.
we even generate automation frameworks from scratch. One of the things I would love to show you today as well. And before anyone panics, no, AI is not replacing QA engineers as of now. It
Okay.
makes our job smarter, not redundant. So today we are not promoting any specific tool or anything. What we are here to promote is AI itself. It's not a fad. It's not going to go away. So you
Mhm.
better jump onto the bandwagon as early as possible. It'll be good for you, your careers, and for your current workload as well.
Awesome. Awesome. So QA engineers are not going to go away. Very reassuring for somebody like myself, who himself comes from a quality assurance background. First 10 years of my career was into quality assurance as such. Makes sense. So before we jump into AI powered testing, Saurabh, let's look at how we started. I remember when I started like 17, 18 years back, 17 years back, we were still doing performance testing, we were still doing manual testing, we were still doing automation testing, right? So how has QA grown over the years?
Yeah, we can start from the scratch. As I said earlier, we used to do manual testing itself. But earlier stages of my career, what we were basically doing was for API testing, we were doing making sure of rest assured and that kind of technologies. But the most commonly used tool which we have seen across is Selenium plus Java or Selenium plus Python. These are the
Right.
traditionally used tools, and setting them up used to be a pain. If you have
Hmm.
ever bought an IKEA furniture,
Right.
assembling that is such a pain. It used to be similar to that. Yeah.
Okay.
So then came Cypress and Playwright, these newer tools, and they came with the kind of inbuilt their folder structure, their inbuilt framework, where most of the
Hmm.
things are set up. And then, as per your requirement, you do make some changes here and there, but more or less, you are on the go. You are done. But now, when we are talking about AI itself, even that part we can remove. You don't need to remember any commands or anything. What you do
Hmm.
is you use your natural language and you ask it to do something for you. You get done. All you need to do is verify. Having the prior knowledge helps in a way that you need the validation part goes away. If you are not seasoned QA, as you said, as you called me, then you'll have to sit and verify what is done is correct or not. But otherwise, you can just have a look, you can get it verified, and even your prompts become way efficient as
Hmm.
along with your experience. So after doing the setting up part, we move on to writing test cases, maintaining automation frameworks, migrating from older tech stacks to newer technologies. All of
Hmm.
this can be enhanced, made better with the help of AI-driven tools.
Right, right. And what we have been experiencing inside is that these tools are also enabling us to make the practices, the QE practices, even better. So, for
Yes.
example, a couple of practices which we believe a lot in, being a very agile and DevOps centered company, are, let's say, for example, shift left, early testing, testing pyramid. These give a good structure to how testing should be done, let's say, in a DevOps environment as such, right? So let's touch
Yeah.
upon quickly upon a couple of these topics. So, for example, shift left. What's your take on shift left?
Thank you for asking that question, Mayank. I have been, not just me, Devon has been a very strong advocate of shift left testing approach. We
Mhm.
have been just not just exploring it, just we have been telling people about it a lot.
Right.
since we are consultants that way. We don't just go and work at client side. We tell them how they can make their practices better. So, but what it is shift left. Let's visualize software development from waterfall model. In software development,
Hmm.
you have stages of development. You have requirement gathering, designing, implementation, quality, maintenance. These. So when this waterfall model used to happen, quality used to come at fourth stage.
Right.
The earlier we move quality, the
Hmm.
left we are moving, right? So that is called shift left testing approach. Implementing it makes the cost of your whole product. It brings down the cost of your whole product. It brings down the number of bugs that are leaked. So overall, makes the process way more efficient. But we are just making you visualize it in a waterfall model. We are in no way
Hmm.
telling you that waterfall model should be followed. We are completely agile. It's just that the name came from when we were
Right.
in waterfall model. Then yeah, testing pyramid you spoke about. Another thing that we strongly recommend is your test suite should be as efficient as possible.
Right.
To attain that, we have testing pyramid. There are multiple interpretations of it. The one I like the most is so you need to visualize a pyramid. At the bottom, we'll have unit tests. Do as much testing as possible with unit tests. Then we'll
Hmm.
have integration tests, end-to-end API tests, I would call them, and cover your as many scenarios as possible there because API testing is way faster and yeah.
Right. Right.
Faster is the key here, and you can cover your negative cases and scenarios there. And for heavy end-to-end positive scenarios, we make use of front-end testing because
Right.
those are the most commonly used scenarios by customers as well. When
Hmm.
customers are working, they are not out there to find bugs. Yeah, they are there to get their thing out of the web application
Right.
that is there.
Right.
If they are ordering something, they are not going to go and just type anything bad intentionally. But it can happen.
Hmm.
So we make sure we
Right.
cover those scenarios with our API testing. But whatever they are supposed to do, we'll cover them with happy and E2E flows from front end. So that
Right.
is
Right.
testing pyramid, keeps your suits lighter and more efficient.
Right. Something that we always talk to teams about that
Yeah.
how do you rationalize your test and optimize your test in the most efficient manner. For that reason, it's important to get tests done on a unit level as much as possible because also the more faster tests, the faster tests are at the unit level, and
Yes.
then you have your API tests, which needs to be a little bit less in numbers as compared to unit tests. And then at the top, you can have your functional test, your all sort of automation tests running, which will only test the application from a UI and not really go to the code and check what went wrong, which unit tests can do, right?
There
So
you go,
makes
the
sense.
pyramid. Yeah.
Right, right.
As you
All right.
explained.
So
Yeah.
thank you for validating my understanding as well, Saurabh. All right. So what are we going to do today, Saurabh? Do we have any demo plans for our audience?
Yeah, yeah. The thing I was telling you about earlier, making IKEA furniture, that part. Let's get rid of that part. So I'll share my
Sure.
screen and I'll show
Mm-hmm.
it to you. I'm working with the Playwright, and this is an
Mm-hmm.
empty VS Code I have kept. VS Code is an IDE. It can be used by developers or by QAs. Anything related with
Mm-hmm.
the JavaScript or TypeScript, if you are working, you can make use of that. So this is
Right.
an empty project I have kept. I'll play the video. So what we have added here is GitHub Copilot, an extension that you can add to your this. You need an account for it. Just log into your GitHub and you'll have access to it. So I'll close this first. I can show you at the top right corner. You can see the Copilot option. So in Copilot
Mm-hmm.
option, they have added a lot of extensions here, GitHub Terminal, VS Code, Workspace. So all these are added newly and you can make use of for specific purposes like GitHub for GitHub commands. Similarly,
Right.
what we'll be making use is Workspace. So Workspace
Mm-hmm.
new we can create. So I'll give it a prompt where I'm asking it
Mm-hmm.
to create a project for me. So can you create a workspace for me and initialize a Playwright test project? I want
Mm-hmm.
to use page object pattern in this project. Create a project scaffolding as well. So this is the prompt I have given,
Okay.
and now it understands it will create this structure for me. It knows how a Playwright structure looks. It knows what files goes into it, what folders goes into it, and it knows which dependencies it will have to add. So those will be added, and it will create sample files for us. So yeah, I need to select a parent folder. I will select the same folder that we are in. So yeah, the name you saw, select same folder as the parent folder, and it will start adding on the folders. So what you saw here, all the things that are created on the right side, source pages, these are POM pages, base page and home page that you saw. In tests, we'll be adding our tests. Everything is in TypeScript format, and you have your config file ready as well. So you can edit it from here. Your project is ready, and now we'll go to the config file as well. You see, dependencies are there. It knows we'll be adding Playwright, so that dependency is added. So your folder structure is ready. Now I'll just open the terminal part, and what I'll do
Mm-hmm.
is I'll make use of the terminal extension because I want to install Playwright here. So I will not ask it to install Playwright. We already know what
Mm-hmm.
dependencies we have, right? It is already added in
Right.
dependencies, Playwright 1.0.0. So I'll just tell it, can you install all the dependencies for me?
Mm-hmm. So it makes the whole installation part much easier as
Yes.
compared to the past when you had to take care of
Yeah.
save several
If
dependencies.
correct. Inside dependencies, if I had just added Allure report and along
Right.
with the version that I want, it would have
Right.
downloaded that as well for me. So I got the
Right.
command, just one command, npm install. I'll copy paste
Mm-hmm.
that command to my terminal. Yeah, I need to go to the respective folder. I cannot have it in the outer folder. Now I'm inside my project. All I need to do
Right.
is copy paste the npm install, and the whole Playwright project, the all the dependencies, the node modules folder will be added for me, and the package JSON file is also created where I can add my
Right.
scripts and all.
Okay.
So yep, we are done. Your
That was
framework
quick.
is ready. Yeah. So we have package log.json is added. Your node modules are added. All your dependencies are done. We are set with Playwright and your framework as well.
Wow. Wow. So are we ready to start test automating now?
Yep, that's it. Next step is just to start adding your test cases, create your POM pages, add your test cases. Even that can be done with your prompting. Go to your Copilot, GitHub Copilot, to your chat
Mm-hmm.
option. It will not start adding them from scratches because it won't have the idea of the application. It will require
Right.
some context initially, but yeah, once you
Mhm.
have trained it enough, once you have given it context enough, we can continue with that part as well.
So as we were talking about different use cases, one of the use cases that you mentioned could be an enterprise use case is how enterprises who are stuck with old frameworks such as Selenium could migrate away from Selenium to, let's say, new age frameworks such as Playwright. And we also thought we'll see a demo of the same, right? How you were able to achieve it as such.
Yeah, Mank. So a lot of companies, since they have a lot of softwares that have been there for around 10 years and
Mm-hmm.
their automation framework were created on the similar timeline, were
Right.
using Selenium for that, their front-end automation. And Selenium has its own issues. It was a third-party library. It was accessing browser from the outside. It had problems in accessing test data. It had problems
Right.
in accessing the pop-ups of Windows as
Mm-hmm.
well. So for that, we had to add code using like robot languages or maybe add some third-party libraries extra on top of what
Mm-hmm.
Selenium provided. So we have gotten
Right.
rid of all of that now. And biggest part was the efficiency itself. Selenium was slow. So these
Yeah.
new age tools like Cypress and Playwright are way more efficient. They run within the browser, they access the DOM internally. And
Mm-hmm.
so considering all that, a lot of companies are migrating. So you have a
Right.
framework, a completely new tech stack. It will take some amount of time for them to migrate from this to
Mm-hmm.
that, maybe months
Right.
in some cases if your suite is extensive. So we have come up with a use case. We have made use of third-party tool here, where
Mm-hmm.
what I have done is, this is from Anthropic. I have
Mm-hmm.
given it access to GitHub, and the use
Right.
case is so beautiful that it can access GitHub, explore your Java files. It knows how a Playwright structure looks like, creates a folder structure, a framework structure in GitHub directly, converts your Java files to your TypeScript or JavaScript files and uploads
Mm-hmm.
them. We are kind of doing end-to-end scenarios with one prompt. So that is what I
Mm-hmm.
thought, and it will bring down their 2 months worth of effort to maybe a week. They'll
Right.
still have to make changes as per their own requirement, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot of work will be reduced. So we thought maybe we'll
Okay.
demo them, and yeah, it
Yeah.
is a good enterprise level use case as you mentioned.
Yeah, I myself know a lot of enterprises who are struggling with this use case. They have thousands and thousands of cases, test cases
Yeah.
written in Selenium. They're looking for ways to migrate, and there seems to be no good way to do it. But with your experience, maybe that use case can be handled in a little different way. So let's look at it. How you were able to achieve it.
Yeah, let me show you something to make those companies happy. This is Claude, as I said. I already gave it access to my own Java repository, Java with
Mm-hmm.
the Selenium, and it has converted a file to TypeScript. And this is the
Right.
prompt I gave. Can you create a respective folder in
Mm-hmm.
this repository, which it will create. After creating, it will try to like upload something. If
Okay.
it fails,
Okay.
it allows it to do it again. It asks permission for everything. That's the beautiful part of it. It won't
Right.
do
It's a new
all of
tool, so you won't trust it completely, right? You don't trust AI completely yet. You want checks and balances.
Yes. So that's a good feature to have that it asks
Right.
me, and I will not allow it to upload to the main branch directly. That's something
Hmm.
we all follow, right? Not push
Right.
anything to main branch. We keep our main branches very sacred. So create a feature branch. In that feature branch, upload the file and then create a PR so that
Right.
we can review that PR. So you see,
Right.
it asks me everything. It has created that file. It has uploaded, converted a couple of files, uploaded them there. I could
Hmm.
have tried for way more files, but there is a limit to free tokens. So we have
Right. Right.
I have converted one file for which it has created a POM file as well
Hmm.
as the test file it has created. And a PR is created for that as well. So if you come to,
Right.
this is my Playwright repository. You
Mhm.
can see the PR at the top. Now we'll go inside the framework. So two folders are created, base and config. This is my this is my POM file, base
Right.
page.ts. And that was the basic structure, and you could not see it
Hmm.
there. So let's go to the feature branch. Now you'll see the differences here. So pages are created. These two pages are created from the previous one, and this is our test class. Test class is
Okay.
created with
Right.
the respective tests. So it's
Hmm.
created, migrated, PR is created. We now all we need to do is just verify the PR and merge it
Right.
to the main branch, and we are sorted. So you can go one by one. Once you have gained enough trust in the tool, then maybe
Right.
you can start going up with heavier files or maybe multiple files all at once.
Right, right. So in a future podcast, Saurabh, I'll be very interested to know your experience with really heavy
Yeah,
enterprise use cases. The reason is, just I just end up thinking that you would have run into multiple issues
yeah,
while migrating really complex use cases, right? Really complex test cases as such. And then how practically did you resolve them? Also, you mentioned about free tokens. So what is the overall pricing that could come across, let's say, in such an effort? How much of technology shift will be needed, let's say, also in the skills of people who are involved in such a migration. So let's
yeah,
do a future podcast specifically for such a use case, which can give a bit more broader insights into how a really complex enterprise could migrate away, let's say, from Selenium to modern frameworks such as Playwright.
sure.
But overall, I think it was a revolution for me that AI could really help us accelerate modernization while reducing the manual effort as much as possible. And with your help, in future, we'll also see how you achieved it with more and more complex enterprise setup. All right. So coming to the final thoughts of the day, Saurabh, before we close, any final thoughts that you have about the impact of AI that you see in testing?
Besides, yeah, besides all the tools and everything in the AI that we have been exploring, what we and all the meetups that we do, what we see around when we meet people is that a lot of people are fearing AI. A lot of people
Hmm.
are fearing these new techs coming in.
Right.
So AI for now is not about replacing testers. Yeah, it is about empowering them. So
Right.
all the scenarios that we saw, nowhere it was like it is doing your job for you, a job for you. You are required. It is just that the efficiency has been enhanced. So,
Right.
and
Right.
along with that, when your efficiency is better, you can implement the best practices that you have, best principles that you have in a deeper manner. So, your learnings and your experience is still required. Just
Mhm.
implement it to the best of your understanding and
Right.
knowledge, and make use of AI to do that.
Right, right. And I think the takeaway for me, somebody like me who plays more of a lead role, is how AI is helping us more and more achieve the best software practice, such as a shift left and testing pyramid, and how we can leverage it for making sure that the feedback received by developer is even faster as such. All right. Thanks a lot, Saurabh, for today's